somewhere in your wildest imaginations. No, that's too wild. No, not there. No, let's bring it back a little more.
Reel
Yeah,
in.
right there. Perfect. From that wildest imagination, this is Running Rogue with Ricky Rogue and Chris.
How are y'all?
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to tell you exactly how I am right now. Slightly pissed off at the general public. Just because, and let's lay it down, we work for a company and we are retail. And because of what's going on right now, the virus and all in the outbreak, we're very, limited on people.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of cutbacks and everything, and we're essential, so we still work. But goddamn, do I hate when people even before the pandemic, just fucking rude for no reason. And even when you're like, hey, I get it, I'm very sympathetic towards people when they come in, they're like, oh, well, this wasn't done right. And I'm like, I get that, I understand. If that happened to me, I would be upset. But I would try to work with that person to fix it and not flip out on them and demand more.
Yeah, that's one thing I have always, it's always aggravated me is the people that want you to help them, but they're going to sit there and berate you. You're not making me want to help you. You make me want to just say, okay, well, you have a great day and get out of my store.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, what people realize, 90% of the problems they have, we don't have any obligation to help them. Mm-hmm. There is no company policy for me to help you with 90% of the problems that you bring to me. A lot of them are, the customer's fault.
Yeah.
In an example, I work in the tech side of things. We sell protection tech help plans. I have had people say, I'll just take a chance on this one and I'm not going to get it. They come in 3 weeks later because they overworked their printer and it fried on them, and they want me to fix it or replace it. And it's I have no obligation to help you there. Now, do we? Most of the time we try to help people out.
Yeah.
But, when you're sitting there screaming at me and berating me, I'm not obligated, nor do I feel, motivated to help you because now you're being a jerk towards us.
Yeah, whenever I'm helping someone with, let's say we're going down an aisle, you need a very specific type of pen. And I'm not talking specific as in, oh, I need an extra fine black pen. I'm talking about, I need this Uniball, very specific XL pen in this color, not in color, the pen color, with this ink. And how absolutely dare you, do you not have this in stock? Clearly you shit out pens and stick it on the shelves. I mean, could you just cut a vein open and just drip some of that pen onto, into the shopping cart?
I bought these pens here 15 years ago. How do you not have them anymore?
Oh, God, that's not even an exaggeration. That is just accurate.
Yeah, no, that was not an over-exaggeration. We hear that all the time. The other one, our store opened, 20 years ago, I think?
I guess.
And there's the people, I've been shopping here since the store was opened. Okay, great. Technology has moved a long way in 20 years. I'm not going to have the printer you bought 5 years ago.
And even so, I hate when people say, oh, back in the day, printers lasted long. I'm like, no.
No, they didn't.
Someone who's had printers since the 90s. No. 5 to 6 years. 8 if you're really good at keeping it together. And even then, you're pretty much not using your printer.
I say 4. If you buy a printer, expect 4 years out of it. Anything after that is bonus.
I always tell people it's 5 years. 5 years is the life expectancy. That doesn't mean it's going to live 5 years. It's probably going to barely live through 3.
Yeah.
But that's because people don't take care of their printers, and people will lie, and just because they don't want to seem like they're overdoing, oh, I don't print that much. Yeah. No, you probably do. If you're here buying a printer, you probably do. The few people who I can see who walk in who are like, oh, yeah, no, I'm just looking for a home printer. I just need to print a few things. And they literally say, when they tell me exactly what they're printing, I know that they're not printing that much.
Yeah.
Because they can count how much things they're actually printing. When someone goes, oh, I do sheets sometimes, and I do packets once in a while. I'm like, well, what kind of packets do you do? It's like, oh, just whatever things. I'm like, yeah, you print more than you think you print.
Yeah.
And you're going to take a printer that can only do 200 pages a month and you're gonna run it to 300-400.
if not more.
Yeah. Oh,
Like-
I give them that balance of
Yeah.
double or a double and a half.
Yeah. Well, I had a guy come in the other day, and he owned a small business. And he goes, well, I just don't want to put a lot of money into, a printer. I don't feel it's necessary. They're all the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, no, they're not. They're not
They
all
are
the
not.
same. What you need for your printing needs is a color laser that will handle, 2,000-3,000 pages a
Mhm.
month.
Yeah.
And he was wanting to spend the money to get a printer that was 200 to 300 pages a month. And he goes, well, why can't I use this one over this one? I said, because you're going to be buying that one in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's not going to last you.
Oh man, I also hate when people get upset when they get something horrifyingly wrong, and apparently it's our fault.
Oh, yeah. And that happened more, it doesn't happen as much here
Mm-hmm.
where we work now. But when I worked at a parts house for auto parts, it was horribly, horribly just everywhere. I actually had a lady who said, I have a Ford Explorer and I need these parts, and gave us a list 10 parts long. So we looked them up, got her the right stuff. She goes home, calls the store 15 minutes later, just screaming and cussing and raising all kinds of cane. Wouldn't let me talk. Turned out she had a specific type of Explorer
Mm-hmm.
that had a different motor in it, so none of the parts fit. And she's like, oh, I told you it was a Ford Explorer. And we're like, yes, ma'am, you're right. It is a Ford Explorer. That's what you told us. But it's a specific submodel of that. The motor is not from a standard Ford Explorer. But we were the ones in the wrong.
Yeah.
I even showed her on the screen, this is what you told us, right? And she's
Mhm.
like, yeah. I said, okay. This is what you have. And I showed her that it's totally different.
Yeah.
I was like, it happens. Well,
Yeah.
I was like, no questions asked, refunded everything, got her the right stuff, sent her on her way. But it's your fault.
Yeah. Well, it's also not only is it their fault, it would have been oh, don't worry, we'll fix it, if it wasn't for the fact that she had to do this big scene.
Yeah.
Because when I went to get my headlights changed, I don't know much about cars. We went to the place. We talked to the person. We need headlights for this car, the Town and Country. And he's like, oh, and he goes through and he's like, okay, so we have 3-4 different bulbs that can go in it, and it all depends on the type. We didn't know. We ended up buying something that didn't work.
Yep.
We went back and we apologized for it because we should have tested it out right then and there. But I insisted on going home and trying it because I wanted to be one and done, and nothing ever is.
Nope.
But that's our bad, and he even said it was slightly his bad because he probably should have looked at the car and realized it needed the older type of bulbs, not the newer. But I'm not gonna blame him for that. He doesn't he won't know straight up. So I just don't understand the mentality of walking up to a person and berating them for no reason, especially if they're helping you.
Yeah.
I hate talking on the phone to call centers or anything like that. So I get upset myself doing the calling. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to be super angry at the person. I'm not going to scream at them no matter how frustrated I am that I'm sitting on this call, barely understanding the person on the other side. I'm not even saying I don't understand them because of their accent, which half the time it is. But mostly I have an issue with talking on the phone because I can't understand fully what people are saying over the phone. I don't know if it's a speaker thing or whatever, but that's an issue I have. So I hate calling people. And as much as I hate that and complain about it, I'll still do it. And I will still sit there and try my best to be as polite to that person as possible.
Right.
Another thing I wanted to talk about was the retail voice.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
It comes out in the
Before,
weirdest times.
yeah, before I called it the retail voice. That was my polite voice. I'm going to see if I can muster that up right now. God, it's really hard to do unless it's in the moment.
Yeah. Hi, how are you today?
Hey, thank you for calling. I just wanted to say thank you for calling Running Rogue. We're here to help. And I'll do that when I'm being polite to people. When I'm like, oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Have a great day. And I'll just go into that voice.
Yeah.
And you saw that when I went to go stock up snacks and stuff. And Chris came with me, and we went into one of the stores, and I was just talking to Chris, turned to the cashier, and just put on the voice.
Yeah. Hey, like I said, it comes out in the weirdest times. No, when I love to use it when I'm at work is when I have somebody on the phone who is berating me.
Mm-hmm.
I love to do it because that makes them so much like more frustrated that they can't make you frustrated.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what it is. 90% of the time, the reason people lash out is because they're frustrated and they're upset, so they want somebody else to be upset with them.
Mm-hmm.
So they attack you, which is, I mean, it's counterintuitive, but I
Yeah.
think this is the logic here. They attack you subconsciously because they want you to be upset that they're upset. So I like to be nice to them because that makes them even angrier.
Yeah, they want to fight, and when you don't give it to them, they get like pissed off that why you're not fighting with me.
Yeah.
Like, clearly justify my anger.
Yeah. I've had somebody threaten to call corporate because I wouldn't get upset with them. That was a fun conversation. I was like, okay, well, this is my employee number. You tell them that I was real polite to you. Like, do you
tell
think
them how,
that's a threat?
Yeah, just tell them how unrelentingly polite I was. Please.
I love that people try to... They use the weirdest threats.
Oh, yeah.
I love it so much. I love I'm going to call corporate. Okay, call corporate. They'll tell you the same thing I did.
They'll apologize. They'll give you a coupon, and we'll never hear about this again.
No. Actually, we're probably making fun of you when you walk away.
Oh, yeah.
Like, actually, we are making fun of you. What are we talking about? There is no probably. Like, me and my managers... how many times have we made fun of a customer?
Oh, often. There are times where you'll walk into the back room and be like, I just need to tell you about this guy. This guy is just awful. And then we'd go into it. But I'll give you a little secret for those who don't go into retail, and something that everyone in retail is probably aware of right now, and probably like, yeah. We actually give somewhat of a shit with the people who shop with us. So if you are nice, we will actually say nice things about. Like, I'm not even joking. We will say nice things about you. But there's a flip side. If you are even the littlest bit of a jackass in any way, shape, or form, we get off on that. We just walk in and be like, I gotta tell you, I got shit to say. Like when someone's nice, like, oh, that was nice. This is a nice little passing by. When someone's a shit, everything stops. Move over. We got stories.
Oh yeah. Well, there's this little old lady, and she comes in, and I will say this: if she was not the nicest person I have ever met in my life, I would absolutely hate seeing her, because every time she comes in, it's like some stupid half-hour thing I've got to do to fix her computer.
Yeah.
And it's so annoying. But like I said, she's such a sweetheart that it just makes my day when she comes in, and I don't even care how annoying it is. And 9 times out of 10, I don't even charge her. Yeah. Like, we're supposed to charge $30 to work on a computer, but 9 times out of 10, I don't, unless it's something I like cannot get around. I have to charge her for it.
Yeah.
Just because she's such a sweet person. But then there's also a guy that comes in, and I see him, and I'll literally be like, I need to go do something in the back. Like, I avoid this guy just because I know it's going to be a confrontation, and I just don't want to deal with him. Like, I'll call a manager and let them deal with him.
My thing is, I will deal with almost any customer until it gets to the point where they are frustrated with me.
Yeah. And
I'm not going to sit there and take... Like, I've been told that I let sales go. And they're like, why did you let go? I'm like, well, if people are going to get uppity with me and we clearly can't help them, I really have nowhere to go from this. Like, let's say someone's looking for a tablet case, right? And the whole time they're like, well, this is not what I want, this is not what I want, this is not what I want, I don't like the price, this isn't what I want. And I'm like, okay, well, let's go look it up on our system. Let's go and
see what we can order.
Let's see if what you need. And their answer is always, well, I don't know specifically, but I just know it's not that. And I'm like, cool. Unfortunately, we won't have what you need. And I'm not above going and saying, hey, this store has it. Go to Best Buy. Yeah. Go to this other store. Literally anywhere.
Yeah.
Because, God, I don't care. Because I try to be very personal with people, because a lot of people, when they walk in, they don't see us as a person. It's just we're part of the store, part of the crew.
We're a punching bag.
Yeah, well, not a punching bag.
You got that from me. Part of the ship, part of the crew.
Yeah, part of the ship, part of the crew. We're part of the store, part of the crew. So they don't see us as individuals. We're just people within a store. We're
punching bags with the company name on them.
Yeah,
that's what we are.
But, like, and there are people I wouldn't say call us punch bags. We're just part of the store, so they don't see us as, these, like, if they come up to us and they're trying to sell something, they're trying to get money from us. And I'm like, well, one, I'm not even going to say no because technically that's the whole point. But two, I'm not there to upsell you on something that you don't fucking need.
I don't make commission.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, here's what I've actually told people this because I have found when I get that attitude, it changes their perspective. Like, I'm not selling you this because I get a benefit from it. My managers don't get a benefit from it. I have absolutely no reason to want to sell this to you other than it's going to help you.
Yeah.
And 99.9% of the time, I'm right. Like, I had a guy buy two $800 laptops.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't want any tech help, no setup, no protection, anything on them. Goes home, calls me the next morning, and wants me to help him because he has locked himself out of the computers. Now, for those of you who don't know, when you lock yourself out of Windows 10, you're done. You cannot fix it. I cannot fix it. A computer repair person cannot fix it.
Microsoft can't fix it.
Nope. Well, every once in a while, yeah. If you get lucky, Microsoft can fix it, but your only hope is to go through Microsoft. He has locked himself out of $1,600 worth of computer because he didn't want to pay the extra money that I was like, hey, this helps.
Mm-hmm.
So because he wanted to cheap out and do it the cheapest possible way, he's now out $1,600 because we can't help him. And then they get frustrated with us because I can't help you, but it's like, this is your creation. I have no obligation to help you.
Yeah. And I've done the whole like spiel in front of people where they go like, well, what's better about it? The price tag. I'm like, I don't fully know and that's why I'm telling you to get the cheaper option, because whatever extra thing they threw a price tag on for this one is probably not. Same thing with the protection plans. Like I said, we're not gonna say the company we work for because no, not sponsored, whatever. But
now, if they want to sponsor us.
But the point being is that I actually appreciate the protection plans we do put on them and how they work. I actually like the way. That's why I will push it on people. And yeah, my boss really wants me to push it. The corporation wants us to push it. But it just so happens, in this one instance, it's actually really good for people to have, and it's not expensive to own.
Well, and here's the other thing, too, and what I haven't said. That $800 laptop that guy bought was a $1,200 laptop. Yeah. And that wasn't on sale. We sell every single computer we sell at a loss. Yeah. And our company doesn't make money on computers. But we do make a little bit, not much, but we do make a little bit of money with the support package that we have with them. But the main thing with that is like I said, we're scratching your back by not making money off of the computer. Yeah. We could just sell the computers with no support package at, $1,400 and call it a day. A lot of places do. Mm-hmm. But, we choose not to do that. We're trying to help out our customers. In turn, help me out. Because you're helping yourself and me, because now I don't have to deal with, hey, I messed up my $800 laptop. What do I do?
And the thing is, like, I'm one of those people where I don't give a shit in general with what people want. And it's one of those things where if I step in and say, well, there's something better, I don't have to. Yeah. Like, one of the best feelings in the world is when someone comes in, knows exactly what they want, picks it up, and I don't have to do anything. And I'm like, cool, I'll help you out with that. And I'll say that because I don't like going and selling things to people. I don't like doing it because I'm very much like, I want you to get what you need, and I don't want to be here and try to force things onto you. I don't care. I'm here because I need a paycheck at the end of the week. But I will still go out of my way to help someone who picked something up, and I'm like, you don't need that. Yeah. Like, someone came in, I don't know if you were there for that, but someone came in and wanted to get, like, the most expensive laptop because it'll be the best laptop in the world. And actually, our boss first came in and said, no, you don't want that. Yeah. And he actually stepped forward and said, that's too much money for what you need. You're never going to use all these features. Yeah. Let's bring you down like $1,000 and get you something that's better.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing too. Like, I've always used the comparison that it's like buying a truck, and you have the different. I know this is kind of gonna go over your head a little bit because
Yeah,
you're not a
that's
car guy,
fine.
but like you have the half ton, the 3/4 ton, and the 1 ton trucks. People come in, they always want a 1 ton truck. And I say that because, like, they're like, oh, I want it to be able to do all these different things. When they're just getting on and checking their emails, they don't need all that truck. That's kind of like if you just go to the grocery store and then back to your house, you don't need a dually pickup truck. Like, you really don't. It's actually going to hinder you more than it's going to help you. Because you have all this truck you're never going to use. Same way with computers. If you go and you buy the most expensive computer out there because it's the most expensive, it has to be the best. You're probably never going to use a quarter of what that computer's capable of doing. Not only have you lost money, but like I said, it's actually going to hurt you more than it's going to help you.
Yeah.
Because you have something that's way more advanced than it really needs to be. So that's kind of my job working in tech, is to kind of guide people more on, hey, I want this because it's the best. No, you really don't need that. What's best for you is this.
Yeah, because not everyone's tech savvy, and some people
Yeah.
need a little bit of help to let them know what they need. I'm also, like, when I got hired, one of the questions I was asked was, can you explain what RAM is to me? Like, I have no idea what it is. And at the time, you know who it was. He actually was impressed of how simply I put it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I have to explain this to a bunch of people. I know how to tell someone that RAM is basically, I did the difference between a hard drive and RAM, and I'm like, well, a hard drive specifically is where you would put all the files you save. So when you save your Word document, that's in the hard drive. But when you open up that Word document, it's being it's being loaded into the RAM. The RAM tells you how many programs you can be running at once and keep it going.
Right.
Your processor does something similar, but you're not really loading into a processor. A processor is just doing the calculations. Yeah. The RAM is specifically allowing you to run the program itself.
Right.
The processor is basically running how the program runs.
Yeah.
And that's also why I tell people when they go into their motherboards and they're like, yeah, they said I had to replace the batteries, so I went in and pulled out one. I'm like, don't do that. That's your BIOS battery. Don't fucking do that. Please don't do that.
Yeah. That's the other thing too with why the total support that we do is amazing, is because when something breaks on your computer, they just send you a cash card.
Yeah. And that's why I appreciate the program, because it's straightforward. It's, look, I don't want to send shit back. I don't want to fucking go do mail tag. Just fucking call us up and get your cash card and get your new shit.
Because at the end of the day, who wants a warehouse full of broken technology?
Yeah, no.
Or chairs, and because we do it on all kinds of stuff, but nobody wants a warehouse full of broken product. It's going to go to the garbage either way.
It's going to be a waste.
Yeah, so they're like, why spend the money? Why deal with it? They literally just cut you a check and you get a new one. That's how simple it is. But that's too difficult for some people.
Well, the thing is, the one thing I understand about it is when people literally, like, I'm here to spend $100 and the chair's almost $100, and yes, the plan will push them over, but I think it's worth it.
Off. Yeah, it's gonna pay off. I think it's worth it.
I have a plan on all my shit because I know how it works.
You would not believe. Okay, so I'm kind of going way off course here. I'm gonna go a little off road here, but you would not believe how many people say, I'm just gonna gamble on it. I'm just gonna take the chance. I'm sitting there like, I wonder how many people would be millionaires if they didn't. Dude, you're gambling. That right there should tell you exactly what's gonna happen. You're gambling. You're gonna lose. Every once in a while you get lucky when you're gambling. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna lose.
Actually, often I use your story of your cat for chairs.
Yes.
And a lot of people finally see it and go like, oh fuck, I should probably get something for this.
Yeah, and I got it, thankfully. I just need to call it in. But I bought a chair and literally within 5 minutes already had claw marks from my cat. And it's not even, like, I kind of tell that story a little bit.
Yeah.
He's the most adorable little thing. He's this little orange Turkish Angora that's blind in one eye. His name is Odin. And he is like a dog. He sits on command, plays fetch, and he wanted me to pick him up and hold him. which is the most precious thing ever. And what he does is when you're sitting in the chair, he'll walk up to it, sit on his back legs, put one paw on the chair, and then take the other one, and he'll tap your side or your leg or something like that. And it's just kind of his way of saying, hey, pick me up.
Yeah.
Like, hold me. And it's the most adorable thing ever. But like, I went to pick him up, and because he's blind in one eye, I think it scared him a little bit, and he clawed into it. Ooh. So like I said, 5 minutes in, and I already had a claw mark in my chair. It's covered. Like, I'm gonna get a $180 cash card, and I get to keep the chair.
Yeah. So that's why I keep telling people, it's not like oh, I'm replacing a chair. You're getting a new chair. Depending on how badly your chair is broken, it's still usable.
Yeah.
You're just getting another one.
Yeah, like this is something that I'm going to be able to, keep in my room and take that cash card and get another nice chair. And then once the garage is built, I can put it out in the garage.
Yeah. So it's
paid for. Like, it's a free chair.
Yeah, that's what I don't get, with people. And like I said, retail workers, more often than not, want to help you in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Either for selfish reasons of, I just don't want you in my face, or for reasons that we normally do, which is, look, we've been in your position, we know what it is. I know that if I walk up to a retail worker, I've been in their position, so when they're trying to help, or if they start to get nervous like I do whenever I can't figure out the thing, I'm like, look, man, don't worry about it. I get it. Take your time. If I'm in a rush, I fucked up.
Yeah.
If I run to a store last minute to go get a thing, I'm not going to be mad at everyone else because I'm late. I understand I fucked up. And I'm like, look, man, I just need this done real quick. And if it takes some time, I'll be mad, but it's not going to be at you. It's going to be at me.
And I'm going to use one that we had recently over in the tech center. We had a gentleman who is running for a political office, and I'm not going to mention what office, who, what side. We're just going to say this gentleman is running for political office.
Yes.
And he brought me his computer, which you saw the computer.
I saw him and the computer. It
was, how old? Like, at minimal 6-7 years?
God. It was running an out-of-date OS.
Yeah, like, it was on Windows 7, and it had all kinds of stuff messed up. And he goes, I need this back as soon as possible. And we said, okay, we'll do what we can. We're going to try to get it done today, but we cannot guarantee because this is one of those things that can either go really quick or it can take forever. So, he calls back the next day upset because he didn't get it back that day.
Yeah. And
he's like, well, I was told I was going to get it back. Well, first off, no, you weren't. I know for a fact that you weren't. Don't try to lie to me. So, I talk with him, kind of smooth it over, like, hey, we're working on it. It's one of those things we have no control over. It's literally we're waiting on the computer. So, like, we are going as fast as we can, but I can't force anything faster. Like, we're literally waiting on your computer.
Yeah.
So, I think it was like 3 days, which is actually pretty good for what we had to do to this computer and as old as it was. And he is just like, he's upset. He wants money back, this and that. And, end of the story, we're going to kind of cut out the middle.
Yeah.
But end of the story, he ends up apologizing because he was very, very, very rude.
Yeah.
To the point that I actually went home very upset. And I don't usually do that. Like, I usually brush it off. It is what it is. But I went home upset over it. And when he came to finally pick up his computer, he did apologize for how he acted. But still, that only goes so far. Like,
especially after a 2-day slog of it.
Yeah, and it's like, not only that, too, but you're running for political office, and this is how you're going to act over an issue with a computer. I don't know that I want you in government. Like, if you cannot handle this kind of issue.
And he goes, it's a small pressure issue that he just overboiled with.
And he's like, oh, well, this is all I'm working with. And, if this goes wrong, then I have to drop out and all that. And it's like, I get that. Believe me, I do. I understand. But you're going about this in an aggressive way and you're attacking people. What's going to happen when, a major issue happens in the government and this is your temperament and your attitude and the way you approach problems? It just...
But also, how could you run for office and be so underprepared?
Yeah, that was another thing, too. Like, you were using tools that were horribly, horribly inadequate. Like, honestly, if you're going to do something like this, because he spent quite a bit of money and is still spending a lot of money, on his campaign, but he's running a computer that's like 10 years old.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, take $1,200, $1,500 of all that money and get a new computer.
It'll cost you less in the long run.
Yeah, it's. But I don't know. Like I said, it's one of those things. I won't vote for him just because, and it's not even because he treated me badly.
Well, I don't like his stance, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, like I said, avoiding the politics of it, but like I'm not going to vote for him just because of the way he handled the situation. And I think people too forget, you come to me, I know just about everything about you.
Yeah.
Well, to an extent, not to be creepy, not in a creepy way, but like I know, you're running for office. I know all this, and I know how you treat people.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a good look for you. Like a lot of people forget that you're representing your company, or you're representing your campaign, or you're always representing something.
Yeah.
If I go somewhere after work and I have my work shirt on, I'm still representing my company even though I'm not getting paid.
Yes.
So if I treat people like garbage, that's going to give people an impression of my company. So
I mean, there's definitely a fine line for that, yeah.
Just to keep things in mind, like always remember that there's always somebody watching. And when you treat people like garbage, it's going to reflect badly.
Absolutely. So I think we've definitely covered our beginning, and we're going to get into our major topic after we take a quick break. So stay tuned. Hey, this is Editor Ricky. Just filling this spot where I would put a sponsored ad if I had one. Anyway, since this space is blank and I have this short opportunity, I would like to tell you that we have a D&D and roleplay channel you can visit. That's Chaotic Fails, link in the description. We do D&D and one-shots of Dread and some of my homebrew stuff. It's really cool, check it out. Also, I do Let's Plays on this channel, so go watch some of that while you're still procrastinating on doing the thing that you're supposed to be doing. The thing that you're supposed to be doing and you haven't done and you decided to watch YouTube instead. Don't worry, you can continue watching YouTube. We got more stuff for you to watch. Oh, and also sub, bell, yada yada yada. You know how that works. Alright, let me get you back to the podcast. Alright, and we are back, and it's time for our major topic of the day. Last time we rolled, and we got nostalgia. And I thought it'd be interesting, not just to talk about things that are nostalgic, but we're going to pick something from our childhood. Specifically media related is what I kind of push for. Something that we still love, nostalgically. But it's awful. It is awful. It doesn't have to be completely awful. Mine will be. Everyone's going to hate me for it, but I don't give a shit. But it's got to be something that you realize in the end, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But because you have the rose-tinted glasses, you're going to be like, I still love it. So, I guess I'll start on this one.
Go ahead.
Okay, let me get the hate flowing.
By the way, we're probably about to lose half of our viewer base.
Oh,
That is 11 people strong?
And growing. But,
ever so slightly, yes.
But, if anyone knows, I also do another podcast with another set of our friends. And I've already complained about the new Pokemon movie that came out, the remake of the original first movie. If anyone didn't hate me for that one, get ready with those pitchforks. So as a kid, I grew up in the 90s, and the biggest thing in the world was Pokemon. And I know a lot of people are getting ready, like, you hate the games. Like, no, I'm literally staring right now at my Eevee Pikachu Switch. Because I fucking love Eevee and Pikachu. I love the games, even the new ones.
And I'm going to point out, too, he also has the Pokeball controller.
Yes. I got I saved up money for the special edition because I was like, if I'm going to get a Switch, it's going to be a Pokemon Switch. So, yeah, I love Pokemon. And I still do. And I would never say it's terrible. In general. So, I would wake up every morning, and before school, Pokemon was on. So, I would watch an episode. I would even eat the gross Pokemon Pop-Tarts. I had those. They were gross. I even had the Pokemon cereal at one point. Also gross. But that's not what we're talking about. I grew up. I went to animation school. And I got really back into Dragon Ball Z, and I went Dragon Ball Z. I hated myself through GT, and Super started after I left college, so I didn't get into that. But I'm like, you know what? I remember loving Pokemon as a kid. I gotta go read through that. I gotta start from the very beginning and go through that. And about 6 episodes in, I'm like, what the fuck did I like about this? This is awful.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate the Pokemon anime right now. Like, I cannot stand it. And, like, man, I know half of you just left, went to a different YouTube video. But for those who stayed, let me explain why it is terrible and how I don't understand how I even liked it as a kid. How I loved it. Oh, yeah, bear with me right now. So, beginning of this rant, Ash is a loser. And not in a fun way. Not ever in a fun way. He is obnoxiously a loser. Gary Oak is right. I am on the Gary Oak side of this conversation, where Ash knows nothing. He's lived... Okay, so let me give you a little basis on this. You've lived 10 years on a planet full of Pokemon. Your entire economy is based on Pokemon. Your lifestyle is based on Pokemon. There are schools in this world that are open that only teach Pokemon stuff. Ash, how do you not know anything about Pokemon?
And claim you're going to be the greatest trainer ever.
Exactly. Straight up. How do you say, I'm going to be the best at Pokemon? Like, see, if you were, to put it through a good anime, My Hero Academia, where he wants to be a hero, he knows. And everyone knows how heroes work to an extent. How do you have less information about the world when you live in it for most of your life? Even at 10 years old, I understood the concept of money. I understood basic concepts of things. How do you look at a Pikachu and be like, yeah, what does it do? What? Yeah. I don't know any moves that any Pokemons have. I just watch Pokemon trainers on TV every day, all day for my entire life, and I know nothing about any of it.
Yeah.
How do you do that? I know a lot of people are going to really hate me now. Goodbye Butterfree. As sad as most people have seen it, it's super lame to me. Like, it's so bad. The one where he tries to leave Pikachu is still terribly done. I feel like it is literally just thrown in there. Cartoon, and I know putting it to cartoons nowadays is unfair because of the time it was. Okay, and actually, even better. Megatron's death is sadder. Fair. Fucking Megatron.
Fair.
Sorry, did I say Megatron? Optimus Prime. Sorry, I watched that video with they talked about Megatron.
Well, both
Optimus Prime's death. Sorry, but I'm not a Transformers fan, but I still look at that and be like, that was well done. That was sadder than Goodbye Butterfree.
Yeah, I actually have that somewhere on tape.
Yeah, because that's actually, it's a staple. It's a staple of animated movies because it's crazy. I'll go into a rant on animation another day, but Pokemon, right? Ash is a dumbass. He never learns shit. The only thing I liked about that series is he never won until more recently. He never won the Elite Four in any single Pokemon series until the most recent one where I think he won the Alolan region, which, good for him. I'm proud. I'm happy. I know he didn't learn anything. And you know how I know he didn't learn anything? You want to fucking know why I know he didn't learn anything? When I first realized I can't believe I used to like this as a kid, I ended up watching the more recent one. I don't know which series it is, but it's the one with the chef. The guy who keeps making food puns, and I hate him, and I want to strangle him. Yeah, he comes out and has to explain to Ash for the millionth time that you cannot use a flying Pokemon with a rock type. You've been through this 8 series. Okay, I think it's not 8. I think it was like 5 at that point. 5 series, Ash. 5 of them. You had a Pidgeotto.
Yeah.
God damn it, Ash.
Because there are people out there that are that stupid. Let's just be honest.
Oh God, and I hate that the everything that they want to do has no connection to reality in any way, shape, or form. And I know it's a goddamn cartoon, but goddamn, there's gotta be a logical function through stories, and Pokemon just doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And to kind of get off topic just a little bit, but I mean, while we're talking about like no success in 8 years,
Yeah.
I actually saw something recently just to kind of bring this back to the real world on how some people are mentally when it comes to stuff like that. There is a lady who her and her husband are making this new reality TV show, and she's a race car driver. And they're marketing it like she's one of the most successful female drivers. And I can name 3 off the top of my head that have done more in, like, there's one and she's like our age.
Yeah.
And she has raced one NASCAR race and has finished better than this lady has in 9 years. Like, in 9 years, the fastest or closest she's ever been to winning a race was like 10th.
Wow.
In 9 years of racing.
Sorry,
so like it just, like I said, just to kind of bring that to reality, there are people out there that go forever that don't learn anything. They have absolutely no success, but they still think they're the greatest thing on earth. So back to Ash.
So that's just
Ash in a nutshell.
Yeah, I have so many grievances with the writing, with how everything is, and yes, it might just be the English version, because I'm going to say right straight up, I was a kid, I watched the English version. I probably won't even bother with the Japanese, because I don't think it's going to be much different, except for the fact that they will not be jelly donuts that time. I still love that meme. I still love it. Oh, these jelly donuts are delicious! Oh, God. But, like... And I know the games don't have great stories either, and I'll forgive them because they're games. They're fun to play.
Yeah.
Halo Reach didn't have the greatest story, but I still love the game in every way, shape, and form. Oh, I mean, Halo 2 was good.
Yeah, ODST was one of them where it wasn't a bad story, but it was just kind of a random off-topic story. Honestly, and kind of getting off into nostalgia a little bit on the game side, did you ever play ODST?
I own it.
3 ODST? Okay. I found the story between the city and the girl more interesting than anything else going on.
That was probably the best part, is going around the city and collecting all those the voice messages.
Yeah, I was more interested in doing that than actually beating the game. Like, that was actually a fairly well done story. Didn't really care about the love story between them two. Yeah. Like, it didn't hit me.
No, I didn't care for any of the story.
And I want to bring something as an example on that, but I can't because fun fact, we're getting ready to do the Detroit experiment. Yes. Kind of a side note, we're joking about doing like commercials, like funny commercials, but on a serious, like, to promote this, we are getting ready to play Detroit Become Human. There's going to be 3 of us. We're each going to pick a character, play that character, and make our decisions on our own and see how it ends up. Yeah. So the game was designed to be one person making decisions for all 3. Now we're going to actually take the power away on 2 of them and see what happens from there. So I feel like this will be interesting. And I feel like it'll give it a much more realistic ending. Mm-hmm. I really want to reference something, but I don't want to ruin the story for you.
All right, so I win because I want to. Yeah, I want to go in.
It's you need to go in blind. I have finished the game because I played it all the way through, but it's like I said, there can be really, really, really good love stories. Yeah. In video games, like ones that actually touch you. This one, I didn't care. Like to me, it just was. It wasn't a bad game, but it was not well done. Yeah. I think Reach was another one where it wasn't a bad game, but it wasn't well done.
Yeah, but Reach at least had a good multiplayer. Because I think after 3, the multiplayer got better, but the single player just started to suffer.
Yeah. And the other thing, too, like, I feel like the problem with Halo, just kind of while we're picking on Halo a little bit, is it's such a vast universe. Mm-hmm. That it's hard to know what's going on. Yeah. Like, there are books and movies and TV series and video games, and it's just such a huge universe that it would take years to understand exactly what's going on. From an entertainment standpoint, like I said, they're not bad games, But I do wish they would put a little more storytelling into the video games.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, storytelling that isn't just macho kill everything, because that seems to be the thing. Because like I said, 1, 2, and 3 actually had a pretty solid story throughout.
Yeah.
2 being very strong.
Yeah. And I am very excited for the future of the video game world too, kind of bringing it back into present, because like the new Modern Warfare, it's actually going from like it used to be if you shot a civilian, it was just mission over, you restarted.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's one, I was actually watching some actual veterans watch gameplay of it and kind of them talking, and they're like, it's actually, I'm not going to say realistic, but it's on that level as far as the decision making and the consequences. Because, you know, you go into this building and you've got to decide, is this a friendly, or not so much friendly, but is this a civilian or is this a bad guy?
Yeah.
And there's some of them where, like, the calls are different. Like, there's some of them where, you know, you'll go into the room and the person immediately, like, stands up, puts their hands up. They're like, you know, oh, they've kidnapped me. I've been here for weeks and all this. But, you know, that person keeps, like, looking back towards a desk, and you can't quite see what's on the desk, so you got to make that call. Do you, you know, take this person out, or do you let him go? And, you know, this guy made the call on taking him out, and it turns out there was a bomb vest, or, like, a bomb in the room, and she was going for the trigger.
Yeah.
So it's, like I said, it's neat that they're now starting to get more involved, and they're realizing you need to be engaging.
Absolutely.
Rather than just go in and kill everything. Because that's kind of what the past in first-person shooters has been, is just, oh, you're going to go in, you're going to kill everything, and keep going. Like, that's not how I want to play a video game.
Yeah. You want to have that moral choices. You want to have that, not real life, but you want that simulacrum of real life, where you want to be a part of that, and you want to be in those situations where you're like, this is the difficult choices that you would have to make in real life.
Right.
How would I react? And I like the idea of replaying it to see what would be different if I reacted differently. And
Detroit is very, very good at that. Like, the choices you make have consequences. Yeah. One way or another. So it's, and you can lose a character, like, very, very first thing right off the bat, you can lose a character.
And just to bring it back to the topic of the day,
right?
So that's why I absolutely hate the original Pokemon series. On a flip side of that, Digimon actually kind of still stands up to an extent, so be happy about that. Maybe don't come to my house and burn it. But now, Chris, what about you? Your nostalgic thing.
So I don't know if you remember the movie Brave Little Toaster.
I remember it very vividly.
It was kind of horrifying. Thinking back now.
Yeah.
Very horrifying, actually, in fact. Honestly, it was very scarring. But I loved it. Like, I watched that movie almost on a daily basis. It was ridiculous. I actually wore out the tape. Yeah. But, because yes, I had a VCR. I know that, you know, if anybody is younger than us, they're like, well, they keep talking about tapes. What are tapes?
Tapes? On Scotch?
Yeah. Similar.
Kind of.
Not really, but okay. But yeah, no, I actually wore the tape out on it when I was younger, but it did not age well. Like, I guarantee you, if you take anybody younger than me and you say, hey, did you ever watch Brave Little Toaster? They're going to be like, what? What are you smoking?
Brave Little Toaster, man. Brave.
But no, it was such a horrifying, weird movie. Do you remember the scene where they were, like, out in the swamp and the truck picked them up? Yes. And they went back to his shot? That was, like, horror film level. Yeah. That was terrifying. And it was a show for little kids.
Like 80s animated movies and even 80s kids movies were just scarring.
They were. It was so bad. There were some others, too, that were, like, really, really terrifying.
It's literally, if Don Bluth puts a pen to paper, well, I can't say that, not every movie he's done, but, like, American Tail is absolutely, like, if you're a kid and you're gonna cry, that's the movie to cry to. Yeah. Oh, God. I'm trying to think. Secret of Nim. Yeah. Scarring. If you're a sadist, Watership Down. Yeah. God, that movie.
What was that one? This is like a really, really weird one, but I remember a movie, I don't remember what it was called, it's just now hit me. But they were like cutting down this forest,
Mm-hmm.
and there were like these tree fairy things.
Ferngully.
Yes, and like the
smoke
oil.
cloud. Yeah,
thing.
the oil
Yes.
smoke cloud. Yeah.
That was horrifying. It was almost X-rated.
That's fucking
Like,
Tim Curry.
yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But like it's stuff like that, and you're like, I watched that as a kid. Like, I wouldn't watch that now as a grown adult willingly. Like,
I would, but other reasons.
Yeah,
Because I liked the animation in it.
yeah. But I mean, like, that's the kind of stuff that you could use to torture terrorists. No, that one scene with him singing, put that on for like a 48-hour loop and like strap their eyes open. Like, you tell me that wouldn't drive you insane.
Murder the planet. Murder the planet.
See what I mean? Be like, this is you. Like, you know.
This is you. You're doing this. Oh God, I'm Tim Curry.
Like, think about how you can break a man doing that.
Oh God.
Forget dunking him in water, starving him, beating him, playing Metallica. Yes, they used to do that, and I find that amazing. I'm going to be honest. If I was the head singer of a metal band and I found out that they tortured terrorists to my music, I'd be like, dude, I will make an album and drop hints. Like, you tell me what you want me to say. I will do it. Like,
I would fucking do it too, man. You're a shit.
Tell them what they want. It's not worth it.
What they want. Just your life isn't worth it. Metal. Just fucking say it. Be a songbird.
Tell me you wouldn't do it.
I would. 100% I would. Fuck, I'll grab my guitar. Oh, I can't because that's in the other room. But I'll grab my guitar right now and just be like, tell them what they want. They're the good guys. Just say it. Just do it.
Oh, man. I would totally do it. Like, no questions asked. I would just be like, dude, you get me the lines you want me to drop. I will write you an entire album that's 100 songs long. Like,
it's a power ballad, but in the middle, it's just tell them what they want, all the secrets. Where are the plans? Who you work for? Just tell us now.
And just play that on a loop. Oh man.
Yeah, like a lot of the 80s movies are like that, where it's creepy. The Witches.
Yes.
I don't remember anything about that movie except for the scene when they're spying on them and they take off the masks and they have the creepy face. That's the only thing I remember.
Yeah. Even Disney was disturbing in a lot of ways.
Oh, but delightfully so. Okay, just gonna move off topic for a second. Disney live action Hunchback of Notre Dame. Do it. All right, back to.
Lion King was amazing. I know you're not into it, but
yeah,
we're gonna have to watch that. Just the way it was filmed was amazing.
I'll watch it. It's just that I don't have any. I don't like the live action remakes, with a few exceptions. Besides, I forget what her name is. Who played Belle in the Beauty and the Beast? Yeah, miscast in every way, shape, and form. Not to say she's a terrible actress, because she's not. She did her best, but the thing is, you need to emote a lot. It's a big role. You got to be able to be expressive. You see the original. I mean, you tried to copy it.
and like, kind of moving on to like the newer ones, Lion King, kind of touching back with it. I don't think anybody but James Earl Jones could pull that off.
Oh, absolutely.
Now they changed up just about everybody else in the cast, and like a lot of people hated Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah.
I loved it because it was brought back. The movie was not as kiddish as the animated. The animated is and always will be my favorite movie of all time.
Absolutely.
The live action is right underneath it.
Yeah.
Just because it hits more on the grown-up side.
Mm-hmm.
I would not recommend taking young kids to see it without kind of filtering through it first. Not because it's like a bad or anything like that, but it is more adult.
It's darker and it's not brightly. There's no bright colors to kind of.
No.
Because the Elephant Graveyard is still scary for children. It's just that the bright color palette kind of eases kids in.
And honestly, like, Be Prepared was very, very Hitler-esque.
More like, than it was.
Yeah, more than... If you thought it was very Nazi in the animated, it is almost like you're listening to Hitler speak. Like, it is that Hitler-esque.
Yeah.
Which I personally love, but again, would I take a young kid to see it? I would really have to morally debate that one. I don't know that I would consider this a kid's movie anymore.
I would have to see it to double check on that, but I do know that a lot, like, especially when I saw the Jungle Book, the trailer for it, and it was during a kid's movie, like, that was when the trailer came up, and
right.
I'm like, it wasn't advertised as it wasn't advertised as if it was a horror movie. The way it was advertised was very dark and very foreboding, and a lot of kids in that theater were very, they just want to see Wreck-It Ralph, man. That's all. Well, not the first one. I think the second one. I don't remember when it came out. But
yeah.
They just want to see whatever anime movie I walked into, because it is very awkward being a 20-something walking into a Disney movie in the middle of the day, because I was unemployed at the time, and watching a movie and all these children around you. And I'm like, I'm an animation student. I just want to see it because of the medium.
I just want to see it because, I mean, it's an animated movie. Like,
well,
let's be honest, we all watch them.
Because the thing is I don't want to get too far off topic, but, like, when it comes out, I'll go on a rant about this another time, but I'm going to just touch on it. Animation isn't a genre. It's a medium.
Right.
You can do anything in animation, and it doesn't need to be for kids. That's kind of a stigma that has gone on animation because of the 70s and the 80s. Animation was not meant for children when it was first introduced. It was just another medium for storytelling. And it was because of things, which I'll rant about later, in the 70s and 80s, where it went, animation's for kids. The Flintstones were not for children. It had children in mind. It was not meant for children. No. That was just the Honeymooners animated. It was a prime time, day-to-day episode-based show for adults about adult situations, made a little more not kid-friendly, but PC for its times.
Right.
In a world where a couple couldn't sleep in the same bed on TV, that's what it was made for.
Right.
So when you say, well, it's kid-based, they don't do anything adult, nothing on TV was like that at the time.
Right.
So, yeah, I have a very strong opinions about animation and for kids. Needless to say, what I went to see was for kids, but my point still stands.
Yeah. But that being said, though, you look at most of, and Disney is a wonderful example of this, throughout the years, yes, they're kids' movies. There's a lot of adult humor.
The Black Cauldron.
Yes. There's so much adult. And the older you get, the more you see it, and you're just like, ooh, how did I not get hit for watching this? Like,
oh, yeah.
Like...
Fucking Dumbo. God damn.
Yeah. I mean, like, Aladdin.
Aladdin, too? Oh, God, the beginning of Aladdin. The intro.
Yeah.
He's in a brothel.
Yeah. Literally. Like, there's so many little things that you miss. And we were talking about, kind of go back to while we're on Aladdin.
Yeah.
We were talking about Beauty and the Beast and her not being right for that part. Mm-hmm. I was very skeptical about Will Smith playing Genie.
Yeah.
Because Robin Williams is a really big shoe to fill. I have to give Will Smith major credit for that movie. Because he didn't do Robin Williams, but he didn't try to do Robin Williams. He made it his own role, and he excelled at it. Now, there are other issues with the other actors that you and I have talked about.
Yeah.
But for, like, Jafar, I hated Jafar.
Yeah.
Just because it was...
He was
he was crazy, not evil. Like, I don't know. And Batman, the old Batmans... There's a lot of people who played Joker that did amazing. Yeah. It wasn't until... Was it Heath Ledger in Dark Knight?
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger, to me, is the best Joker because he didn't just make it seem like just, oh, yeah, this guy's crazy, he commits crimes. Like, he brought the dark insanity into that role. And I don't think anybody will ever achieve what he achieved.
Yeah. But like I said, like Will Smith did a fantastic. Like he was probably the only thing I cared. Like I didn't even finish Aladdin. I thought it was boring. But halfway through the movie, the only thing that really kept me going was that the Will Smith as a genie was actually entertaining, and I enjoyed that. But after a while, I just switched out. I just was like, this, there's updates on YouTube I could be watching right now. That, some of my favorite YouTubers are doing something. I kind of want to see that more.
Yeah.
I really don't want to finish this movie.
Yeah, like I said, it wasn't the greatest, but I didn't think it was bad by any stretch of the imagination, but it could have been better. Which I feel like is kind of the constant. Lion King's the only one I walked out going, okay, I didn't love every aspect, but it was good enough that I loved the movie.
That's my thing with Beauty and the Beast. I walked out because Beauty and the Beast is one of my top Disney movies of all time. Never going to be Hunchback. It's really hard to beat Hunchback.
Right.
But Beauty and the Beast is next. I think after that, oddly enough, would be Frozen, the first one.
That was a cute movie.
It was very... The thing is, it's overplayed, and that's where all the hate comes from.
Yeah.
But it's... Strip that down, very excellent movie.
If for nothing else but Olaf.
Oh, well, I mean, I think every aspect of it. I love Olaf. I love his song. It's so funny.
Yeah.
I love the idea of Olaf. Half the characters I make are like similar in that that humor.
Yes.
I love that kind of humor.
Oh look, I've been impaled. Like, that to me is the greatest. That is the greatest line ever in any movie. Fight me over that, but just
with a smile. Oh, I've been impaled.
Like, you will never beat that, and I don't think any other character could pull that off.
Roll to hit. Nat 20. Damage. 0. No damage. But I
just found my next D&D character.
Well, we're gonna end it on that. We are now at that time of day where it's time to roll for next week's or next episode's topic. It depends on when I get to editing this one. Want me to do it?
You roll.
Yeah.
Sorry, people at home. That was probably really loud.
Probably. All right. So what we got next week? 18. That is people.
Oh, joy.
That's a very general topic, but we'll definitely work something out on that one. God damn. All right.
I feel like we've already covered that.
Oh, we're
a couple times.
We're gonna cover that. We're gonna pick another aspect and cover that. I'm sure that always our beginning topics will touch everywhere.
Yeah.
But we'll come up with something for people.
And to kind of preface this too, like those of you that are watching, I promise this will get more entertaining.
Yeah. Every time I do edits, I try to do a little bit better every time.
Yeah. So
there will be more stuff to see. We also were working on another way of doing the podcast, but that takes money and time and things we don't have.
And on top of that too, like right now we're pretty much stuck at home and at work. So there's not a lot going on at home that's real interesting. So really all we have to do is just complain about people. So
I mean, hey, you probably turn this on just so you can listen to something while you're doing something else. So or you're procrastinating, and in that case, get back to what you got to do.
Yeah.
That's about it for this week's Running Rogue. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Have a good one.